It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Mexico national softball player, Suzannah Brookshire Gonzales. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to play professional softball?
Yeah, I had a teammate at Sacramento State who played on the Greece national team, Nikki Galketsis, and she kind of opened up the idea of the possibility for me to join a team where I had a heritage in that country.
What was it like playing college softball for Sacramento State?
It was oh my gosh. It was fun. It taught me a lot, and I'm really happy that I went to Sacramento State. I met a lot of great people, and I got to really find out a lot about myself as a person and a player, and I learned a lot of great things, and it was a lot of fun.
What was it like putting on the Sacramento State jersey for the first time?
It was different. I know at the time I felt really young and like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to expect to myself for the next couple years that I was on the team. And I know that I do remember thinking like I needed to walk around and to be proud to be on the softball team and to represent the softball team well at the university. So that was always a big priority for me.
Of course, what was the transition like from going from Sacramento State to, of course, San Diego State?
San Jose?
Yes, San Jose.
It was a lot because it was my senior year and I was going for 1 year just to play, and it was fun though. I had a lot of fun at San Jose State, on and off the field. I met some really great people, and like I said, I'm really happy that I went to each university that I went to.
What was that moment like when you put on the San Jose jersey?
It was fun. I feel like I was representing my hometown in a lot of ways because I grew up in that area. I grew up a little bit of south of San Jose, so it felt like I was back at home, and I was playing for a little bit of a different reason than what I was playing for at Sacramento State. I know it's the same game at the end of the day, but I felt like I was representing my own city in a way, and it was nice to feel that way.
What was it like to play for Long Beach State?
Oh gosh, that was a lot of fun too. Uh, I was reading over this question, and for me, it was contrary to how I felt at San Jose, where I was playing for my city. I was playing for an unfamiliar area, and I felt like it was kind of, it comes with putting on the jersey to play with a little bit of swag. I know like Long Beach State has really good athletics, and I was proud to put on that jersey, and I was proud to be part of the beach, and I'm proud to be an alum there. And like I said, I'm happy I went to each university and I met a lot of great people and had some really great experiences.
Of course, with your college career, going to 3 different universities to play, what was that like for you and how did you overcome it?
It was obviously not at all what I had expected. I expected to just do my 4 years at Sacramento State, but things don't always happen the way you think, and you change a lot after your first few years of college, or from beginning to end, you're a different person. hopefully. And it was obviously unique because not a lot of people go to 2 or 3 even. But it wasn't that hard of a transition for me just because I think I went to some really great universities. Sac State welcomed me, San Jose State welcomed me, and then State. I really enjoyed playing at each university.
What was it like to make, of course, the national Mexico team?
That was a different feeling. It really kind of showed me what I can do with softball and what kind of player I wanted to be and how serious I took the sport. And for me, it was about because my dad's side of the family is Italian, and so for me, it was about which heritage resonated with me the most. And I grew up celebrating like Hispanic traditions, and so it was really important for me to feel like a connection to the team that I joined. And I feel like mostly I mean my family, we celebrate a lot of Mexican traditions, and so it was important to me to be on a team that I connected with. And yeah.
What was it like whenever you got to sign your first contract with Team Mexico and put on that Mexico jersey and have Mexico across your chest?
It was a special moment, and for me, it was about playing and playing for excuse me, playing for a country that I was connected with. And it was when I first joined the team, I didn't really know the Olympics were a possibility, and so getting to play on the team was enough for me. It was enough for me to be on the team and play with some really great players and with some really great people against some really great competition. And yeah, it was more about the experience for me.
What was it like whenever you got selected this year to play in the Olympics?
It was a journey. It was really stressful at times. I'm sure at times I cried, and times I was sweating and whatnot, working out. It was important for me to feel like I gave my all to prepare for the games and for Mexico, because I didn't want to let anyone down, and I wanted to make sure that I did anything I could to solidify my spot on the team. And I wanted to make sure that I was with my teammates the whole time to make sure that they were also doing everything they could to be on the team. And like mentally, sometimes we needed to talk to each other to encourage each other to keep up the good work. And it was a lot, but it was rewarding at the end of the day.
Of course, when you were playing in the Olympics and playing against Canada for the first time, what was that like to, of course, play in the Olympics and know I'm at the biggest stage in my career? I'm on the Olympics.
It was really nerve-wracking. I was very nervous. Anyone who saw my first at bat could tell that I was completely not I don't know. I was really overwhelmed, and I was in the outfield kind of talking to myself like, what am I going to do when the ball comes to me? And then I was like, the ball's going to come to me, and then I'm going to get it and I'm going to throw it back in. So after the first ball got hit to me, a lot of my nerves went away. And it was really all just about being there for my teammates and making sure that we were in it. And I could tell that we were all so nervous. There were so many expectations, but after the game ended, it was kind of like, okay, we got our first like nerves out of the way, and now it's time to really play. And we really showed up the second game against Japan, and we almost won that game too.
Can you talk about, of course, putting on the Team Mexico jersey in the Olympics and having the Olympic rings on your jersey and being like, okay, I'm here. It's my time to play for the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a whole different feeling than any jersey I've put on before. There's an insane sense of pride because we're representing a whole country and our families, and we knew that regardless of whatever happened, that we had those things. We had um, hopefully we had support, and we know we had it from our families, and that's what kept us going. And it was different than putting on any college jersey though, because I mean you're still representing a university, but it didn't quite hit me until I got to the village. I saw the other athletes, and me and my teammates, for the most part, were just average people, normal people. So it was pretty crazy seeing all the really big names and all the different athletes at the games. It really made it click for me, like seeing somebody walk around, or those from a different country, or someone riding around on their skateboard, because there was skateboarding in the games this year, which was awesome. It really clicked for me.
What was it like to, of course, play against some of the teams like Canada, who has Danielle as one of their good players, and other players from like the US team, all in the same like kind of like village area?
Yeah, I've been competing against them for around 5 years now. So at first, I know when I played against all of these teams, including Australia and Italy and Japan, I was like terrified my first year playing against them. I thought they were all throwing 70 miles an hour, and I thought they just played the most amazing softball. And that voice starts to quiet down as you get experience on the field, and you get to play against you get to play with girls that are just as amazing. So you start to feel like you're fitting in a little more, and like you're supposed to be there. But it's still always an honor to play against them. I'm always amazed by each one of them, and I respect them, and I respect their game. And when I come home, people ask me like, "Oh, who did you see at the village?" And I'm trying to think of like famous people I saw. And to me, it was like I felt like I saw so many because I saw the softball teams, and to me, they're like famous people.
Of course, can you talk about what the game day was like and some of your game day rituals that you had during the village?
Yeah, it was wake up and go get some breakfast. Or first, you had to do a COVID test, and every morning, and then we'd go get something to eat. I got to have a coffee every day, um, and getting hydrated. Um, just moving around, making sure like I'm up and I'm ready to go. And I always run late, so I have to start things early. But going to the field, putting on the uniform, really like quieting my mind down. And I like joking around. I whenever I'm in the outfield shagging our BP, I take it serious though. I'm tracking down balls, and I'm having a good time though, chatting with my teammates, and we're listening to music. And when game time starts though, I something clicks and I lock in, and I sometimes I gotta slap myself a little bit, make sure I'm in the zone. And and one of my favorite parts was singing like the national anthem. It really gets you in the zone, and it really reminds you what you're playing for when you're out there.
What was the transition like from, of course, going from such a big time difference where you would play early in the morning and then maybe you also play late in the afternoon?
Yeah, that was difficult, but that's why we got to Japan early July, the 7th or 8th of July. to make sure we were adjusted. But even when we landed, we got there, we got to our hotel, and the next day we had a doubleheader against Japan. So that was pretty crazy, but we adjusted pretty fast. I know a lot of girls were still waking up at like 5 in the morning most days that we were there. So it was hard to get your sleeping schedule back for the most part. Mine's back while I'm home. Mine's pretty much back to normal, but it was almost like they were trying to pick like really insane times for people that lived in this time of the world. It was like, okay, game time, 4 a.m. back home. And it was a challenge, but it was also fun because all of our families were awake and they were taking naps at weird times during the day so they could stay up for our games and whatnot. So it was fun. We had everyone behind us.
Of course, can you talk about that where your families were back at home instead of course, in the Olympics, like of course previous years have been?
Yeah, it was sad. I know we all wanted our families there, and I know they all really wanted to be there. It was sad looking at the stadium and not seeing any fans. I know it would have felt a lot different, and the atmosphere would have been very different if there were fans. But it was fine. I mean, we still knew everyone was at home watching, and even opening ceremonies is something where you want fans at, just because like there is the stadium, just it feels different and it feels alive when you're walking through. And so it was hard not having any fans, but like in college, I mean, we always only had like our parents and like a few fans here and there come to our games. We weren't like, I didn't go to any universities where the stadiums were packed and whatnot. So I wasn't, I was used to it, sadly, but I know it would have been a very different feeling being out there.
Of course, as you get back home, and obviously in the next few months, you're going to train more for the Olympics in the upcoming years. What do you look forward to accomplishing after you've already come back from the Olympics that you're going to go now to, of course, the California Olympics in 2024?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. I really, really, really wish that softball and baseball were in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. I wish there was something we could do about it. It's up to the host country though. Which it's basically, if you don't have a softball or baseball team that is going to compete at the games, then you're not going to have that sport in the Olympics. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of mental preparation, and I hope that depending on where I am in my life, I don't know where I'm going to be in 7 years. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then, but taking it one thing at a time and 1 year at a time. I know myself. I know I'm going to stay in shape, and I'm going to stay active because I love doing it. But for now, my plan is I'm going to go to Italy at the end of the week and go play in the European League over there for Team Forley. And I'm excited for that. And maybe next year, I'll try to catch up with my old teammates. I know they're all playing Athletes Unlimited, so I'm going to be watching them play. And maybe one day I'll try to be a part of that. I didn't know that was like an option for me. I guess I thought you had to be drafted, but I guess you can try out. So I was thinking about trying out for that if I still can. And yeah, that's the plan for now.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give future college softball players looking to play college softball and move into the professional softball?
One thing for me that has helped me tremendously on every team that I've been on is learning multiple positions and being a really tough out in the box. I know that I came into college as an infielder catcher, and I'm an outfielder and I catch sometimes. So it's important to play multiple positions. And when you hear your coach correcting your teammate or something at their position, listen, and in the future you can help them. Oh, this is what coach said. And you also learn the position, and you'll learn where everyone's supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And it helps the game really come together if you know other positions really well. And being a tough out, I know like you're not always going to get on base, but I know that I can't control myself either. So I'm always swinging way too hard. I'm swinging out of my shoes often, and it makes it fun though. And my advice would be to really enjoy hitting, because hitting is the most fun part of the game. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to ask me more questions too, they can always reach out to me.
What advice would you have upcoming future people looking to plan their first time going to the Olympics?
Yeah, I'd say for me, coming from me, I would really focus on the mental game and the physical preparation that leads up to that. The year that the Olympics were supposed to happen in 2020, something wasn't clicking for me. I didn't realize I was going to go to the Olympics, and I didn't realize it was my senior year of college, and that was it. I was kind of just rolling through my season, and we were successful, and I was having a really great time, and I felt really comfortable and confident, and but I wasn't pushing myself outside. I was pushing myself at school, and I was getting good grades, but I wasn't also factoring in like staying active on my off days. And I wasn't, I had changed my diet a little bit. I was eating like mostly vegan because I wanted to feel like healthier. And that's how, I don't know, that's my own thing. I like, I like eating like that. But I would say to focus on the mental and the physical game a lot more than you realize. I know this year, once COVID hit, I really, really focused on what I loved outside of softball, and it was still being active. So, because there was a point where we didn't know if the games were going to happen. So I found myself riding my bike a lot more and going on runs a lot more. And it helped me so much with my speed, and reading a lot more helped me really focus on like myself and my mental game. And I think those are just as important as the sport. It's important to go there and feel physically fit, like at your peak. And I wish I paid attention to it more, and feeling mentally ready to compete. Those are just as important as training for your sport.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
So I only have Instagram because I really don't like social media that much. I downloaded Instagram just to see like, just to kind of like promote our team and get to like reach out to fans and whatnot while I was at the games, and it worked out. But I honestly don't even know how to spell my Instagram name. Let me check really quick. It's Suzie B, and it is at SUEZEBEE. And yeah, I try to post, but I'm not the best at social media.
Thank you again, Suzie Brooks, for your interview, and best of luck in your future wherever it may hold you.
Thank you, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Suzie, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thanks. Bye.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.